Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful heterosexual bearded Jewish life partner, Josh. I feel like I need to explain that because let me first back this up real quick, folks. We've got some really big news. We're excited for this. We've now decided to partner with Spreely.tv. Spreely.tv, you can go check out the website. Essentially, it's almost like an audience share. A lot of good streamers over there. Dominic Izzo from Izzo Rants, he streams over there. Patriot Barbie's over there. They've got some big, hard-hitting names over there, which is nice. So we're going to join them. We're going to see what we can do when we partner up with them and just trying to give more voices, more platform to the people that big tech has censored, such as myself, throughout the years. I mean, it's been a long, arduous fight. So we're glad to be on their platform. We appreciate all the work they're going to do for us, and we're going to hopefully bring them a good, valuable show. Although I would not bet on that whatsoever. It's going to be completely miserable. We're going to say fuck a lot.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So if this is your first time tuning into the show, let me first introduce ourselves. My name is John Burke. Josh is my partner here. We've been doing this podcast for... Man, we did it back in like 2018 for like a few months. We didn't really hit it hard. It was enjoyable. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of things going on. And then we just relaunched early last year. So we've been at this again for almost a year.
It's been a while.
And we've grown exponentially quickly. I mean, we've done very well. We have on average 150 to 200,000 downloads a month. We're very grateful for that. Josh and I worked together in a company we called Shell Shock CBD, launched it right before COVID, and it's a multi-million-dollar company now. We have amazing products that you can go check out. It's not snake oil. We have a money-back guarantee on the majority of our products. We appreciate the love and support there. And again, that's shellshockcbd.com. I'm 38 years old. I've been around the world a few times, done a few things here and there. Politics is my game. I enjoy it. I am a constitutionalist. I wouldn't classify myself as GOP or LP or DNC or KFC or BMP or DFW, whatever. I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution. I'm not a loyalist to Trump. I'm not a loyalist to anybody except God. And that's basically it. So you'll get both sides of the aisle takes from us here on the show, and you'll see. I mean, you'll watch. Just watch and see. We piss off a lot of people. And our catchphrases are Van Taylor got his butthole licked, Alec killed a guy, and this is why we're never going to be on Fox. And now for Josh, my partner, introduce himself for our new viewers.
I wasn't expecting. It's basically the same thing.
Did you get your butthole licked too?
Yeah, I got my butthole licked too. Never killed a guy though.
Never killed a guy?
Yeah, just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here, buddy.
Josh does a lot of the production on the show. He does a lot. This guy busts his ass, and he makes it a lot easier for me to focus on my area, which is pissing people off with content that just they don't want to hear. So, speaking of that, we were talking prior to the show about Crowder. Crowder's going on Timcast tonight, apparently. It's going to air around 8 p.m. Dude, I'm seeing a lot of back and forth. Candace Owens taking shots at Crowder. Crowder taking shots at Daily Wire. And I let's talk about what you brought up. I guess Jeremy Boring did a response. I didn't watch it.
He basically went through their contract and that kind of stuff. And
right.
It didn't really line up with what Crowder was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I found interesting was when Candace Owens brought up the fact that, when he had Not Gay Jared,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden he disappeared, and then
what was with that? I don't know anything about this.
Nobody does.
Okay.
Except for, I guess, him and Not Gay Jared, because he had signed an NDA, and there's something where he can't talk about what had happened. So it's just it's interesting, to say the least, the events that took place between him and his old crew that he got started with. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
From my understanding, and look, I'm not trying to pick a side on this one, but I do know. Well, let me just phrase it this way. I think Crowder's position is that to essentially put strikes on someone in the Daily Wire when they come and work for them, if their account gets demonetized by YouTube or Facebook or something like that, Crowder is essentially saying you're playing ball with big tech, the very same groups of people you claim to stand against. You are giving them money. You are enabling them. Daily Wire does this. Mm-hmm. We can see paid advertisements left and right. I get it. But I guess in their mind, it's like in order to defeat evil, you have to become evil. Crowder's not so much that way. This is just my understanding of it. I'm not picking a side on this one, but I do know Daily Wire, they play ball with big tech. Mm-hmm. Almost all of them do. The Blaze does. Everybody does. I'm not saying that's right. We personally don't. We don't give money to big tech. We just do this on our own.
You can listen to Shapiro's politics, and he's a pretty old school style conservative, mm-hmm. in my mind anyway, as far as willing to go to war a lot quicker than most people would.
Well, I mean, he's simped for the vaccine. He's simped for Ukraine.
He was really in favor of George Bush, or not George Bush, but Jeb during the 2016, more of a, I don't know.
He's a moralistic guy, and I'm not knocking that.
Just the type of candidate who you would expect to run for president, not Donald Trump.
Right.
So.
In my mind, though, I see how the Daily Wire runs their operation as far as saying, like, look, if we're not getting ad revenue or whatever from these streams or whatever, I get that. But at the same token, you're also basically saying that you have to self-censor. That's not what we're about. That's not what it's about. That's why we stream on Rumble. Like, again, new viewers. I had over 600 something thousand followers on Facebook, over 250,000 on Instagram. We were partnered on Twitch, streaming there. We were growing, and on YouTube we had over 310,000. We did the John Ross skits, the painting, which we are going to bring back. People have been asking for more John Ross skits. We're going to do it. It's the artist with the curly hair and stuff. But we got banned on everything. Rumble set up an account, and they were like, yeah, come stream with us. We're not going to ban you. You don't have to self-censor. Just don't break the law. It's like, fair enough. And look at us. We're not abusing it. We're not out here, being racist or misogynistic, whatever the case. Well, I'm a little misogynistic, but there's a good reason behind that. Women just don't know when to shut the fuck up. No, I'm playing. But all the guys are like, he's right. He's right. You're thinking it. Nah, I'm playing. But I see it from both sides on this. But at the same token, guess who jumps in on this mix? My weekend was great up until Nicole Arbor decides to interject herself into this and go on the attack of Candace Owens. Probably because the Crowder shit is trending. And Nicole Arbor is trying to interject. And then, of course, guess who else jumps in? Jaina fucking Perfectly Flawed. For those that don't know, this woman has come after me and accused me of some just bullshit. And then she comes out and says, nano influencers should never sign and then have their woman sign an NDA. You shouldn't need to. And this woman had Nicole Arbor on her show, on her podcast, and Nicole basically spilled the beans. And so I have it on very good authority. And normally I don't get involved in other people's bullshit, but Jaina came after me. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Like, you've made an enemy. Now I do want to see you fall. I want to see you fall hard because you try and ruin people's lives for no reason at all. Just for like fake female empowerment is what you do. She's like a feminist in the veteran space, and she's such a fucking joke. But that's surfaced, and it is just drama. And anytime I see drama, I see Nicole Arbor around it, I see Jaina around it. It's like the Taylor Swift complex. It's like you piss off enough people, maybe they're not the problem. Maybe you're the problem because you're the only independent variable in all of these situations. Because she dated 4 dudes, all 4 dudes she's trying to sue, and she's basically on her 5th lawyer, and they have court in less than a month. And she's just like doing all these attacks, and Candace Owens is going to shred her. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Candace, but Candace, when she comes after you, she will bring the receipts.
She's sharp. All those guys, all those people are sharp.
Yeah.
I mean,
but Nicole Arbor and Janet, it's like, you got another thing coming. Like, you're about to learn real quick, fast, and her. When you want to slander and defame people, you're going to learn. And then, of course, I had somebody like trying to like threaten me yesterday. Like, back off of Jaina. You can't play at my, like, you're a fucking nerd with a meme page. Shut the fuck up. Like, here's the deal. I will never negotiate. I will never argue with a meme page. I won't do it because you are not man enough to put your face and your name out there. You won't do it. If you truly believe in what you say, then you stand in front of your word. You don't hide behind an anonymous account. It's just not going to happen. So it's like I blocked him. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing. Because I even said, here's the deal. And this offer will always stand to Janae or Jane, whatever the fuck your name is. You can come on my show. I will go on your show. I will come to your show and we can debate all the things you have said. That offer will always stand. I will go on your show. Have Nicole there. I'm fine with that. But you keep ducking me. This is what Janae does. She will make these accusations and then she will block anyone that argues. Then she'll go look at your follower list and she'll block them too. And it's just the funniest thing ever. It's like, if you have nothing to hide, if you're not scared, if you truly believe in the things that you were saying, much less accusing other people of doing, then stand and back your claims. She has nothing. But that's what happened over the weekend for me. And it was great. It's like, this is such childish bullshit. It's like, normally we just stick to politics. But when Jaina wants to fucking, throw her tits and forehead into something, bitch, you're going to get, no. This white dude, I'm not going to tolerate it. Your husband needs to get you in check. I don't know how any man would let his wife do and say the things that you do without telling her, it's like, if you continue on, you're on your fucking own. Like, you were trying to ruin lives here. And I got news for you. You got some things heading your way. You do, and I love it. I can't wait to see it come to fruition because it's going to be beautiful. But anyway, that's what happened. just so much to get to in the news. So much to get to. The Crowder thing and everything. Yeah, a lot going on. Joe Biden's out there stumbling around, still dementia-ridden, doesn't know where he's at. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I do have to start the show with this one point here. It's going to make some enemies, but you know me, I don't care. Unless you feed, fuck, or finance me, I don't give two shits about what you think about me. So there you go. You're always going to get the truth from me. I will never go after anybody that willingly took the vaccine but still stood for the freedom of choice for other people. I respect that. But if you interject yourself into a conversation, into a comment thread, into whatever the case may be, and try and paint yourself out as if you're a victim, you're not. You had a choice. It's a shitty situation. I'm not saying it's not. It's a horrible situation you were faced with. But when I saw hundreds of thousands of people saying, I'm going to choose the hard right over the easy wrong and stand united with those that refuse to succumb and bend the knee to this medical tyranny enforced by governments and state governments, the federal government and state governments, to include conservative governors. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, let's not pull punches on them as well. But if you chose to stand on that side and take the jab, even though you didn't want to, you made your choice. You made your choice. Every choice has repercussions, be they positive or negative. Every choice has an outcome. You now have to deal with your outcome. That's all there is to it. Now, again, I don't go after people like that. It's like, hey, you made your choice, but you respect other people's freedoms. I respect that. But that does not exempt you from the repercussions of said choice. So when you want to sit there and say you were a victim, and what about my family? Hundreds of thousands of other people around the country, much less world, said, no, I don't care. I stand in unison with everybody else. We're united. Absolutely not. I will not do this. They made the choice. They chose the hard right. I had one friend DM me. He's like, I had to work 3 jobs because I walked away from this one company with benefits and everything because I'm not going to do it. And now look at them. They're dropping dead left and right. Myocarditis, all these things. And now there's people like harassing the Pfizer CEO, which I'm all about. Like, good for you. Yeah, I hope somebody like throws a pie in that cocksucker's face or a bullet, whichever. Fuck them. I don't care. I don't care about these people. I really don't. But they're out there saying like, look, more and more stuff's coming to surface. You were wrong. And guess who also endorsed the speeding up of this process? Donald Trump. Now, look, I'm not for or against Trump. I take it policy by policy. When somebody says like, do you support the president? It's like, which policy are you referring to? It's not an all or nothing game with me. I'm not so simplistic. I'm not so diehard. I'm not a bandwagoner. It's literally which policy you're referring to. Donald Trump, Operation Warp Speed, made this happen. He backed the vaccine. He simped for the vaccine. Shapiro did too. I'm sorry, but if you claim to be a pro-liberty person, a pro-freedom to choose kind of person, and then you turn around and you're like, Dan Crenshaw even said in the military, like, just take the vaccine. It's like, no, it's not just to take the vaccine. This is a national security risk. And now look at it. People are dropping dead left and right. And it will still continue until the day that we all die. It's like, well, it's just anecdotal. It's just, well, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But don't you see it's kind of like, interesting.
Did you see Silk came out from Diamond and Silk talking about her sister's death?
Mm-hmm. I saw a brief little clip of it. I didn't watch the entire thing. It was a lot of showmanship for me, and I didn't like that. I like how she was embellishing a lot of stuff. It's like, no, just say what happened. Don't Hollywood it. Just say the facts. It kind of turned me off. I'm not going to lie. It was just, it still happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but the way that she delivered that message was like, no, this is theatrical. Stop with this. This is real. And what I'm waiting for is for them to turn around and blame Trump, but they're never going to do that. Because folks, that's what happens when you tie your identity into an individual candidate or person. You have to defend them when they're wrong, and you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that.
Yeah. I think that was one of his bigger mistakes.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake. But what was she? I didn't see the entire thing. What else did she talk about on there?
Just basically asking for what's going on. Like her sister was fine, and then the next minute,
they got the vaccine, didn't they?
That's what she said. Mm-hmm. So it's not good.
No. And it's funny because the very same person that they sit there and they campaign for, they worship, they praise, he got him killed.
Yeah, I had this.
Am I wrong on this? Like Operation Warp Speed, all this.
I have a cousin of mine who's a nurse, and she was telling my mom a couple years ago that she's like, you watch and see, a couple years from now, people are going to start dropping like flies. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as they started administering this vaccine.
Yeah.
She's right.
It's like they say, we're in the longest I told you so of all time. And look,
it's
folks.
sad because it's like.
I know some people are out there for like forgiveness. I'm not. You treated us like lepers for 2 years. You treated us horrifically for 2 years. You berated us. You called us Nazis, grandma killers. You wanted us fired. You wanted us strapped down to a gurney and forcibly injected with this vaccine. You wanted our children not to eat. You wanted us dead. I remember, folks, I'm not going to forget, and nor should we allow the future generations to forget how these Americans, in name only, turned on their own for the sake of government safety that they didn't even give you. Mm-hmm. They did more damage. And I love these same types of people. Like, look, I'm honest with you. I am for a national divorce. I am. When Benjamin Franklin says, those who cast aside freedom for safety deserve neither, what do you think these are just like posters you see in a history class? This is truth. So I'm sorry. When you cast aside your freedom, then you've given up your rights. Therefore, I don't think our rights apply to you. I think you should be stripped of them. Now, of course, pragmatically, that's never going to happen. But in conversations, those that willingly sought out government safety from a panic that they also, by the way, Fauci helped incur, like the $600,000 grant to study this in Wuhan.
Like all these people had financial interests in getting this vaccine out.
They still do, yeah.
I mean, Pfizer knew that what they were doing was wrong.
100%.
But, you know.
Again, the average clinical trial of a vaccine.
$50 billion in front of them. And
yeah. Oh, it was, dude, we're talking about trillions of dollars. These guys made bank. And all these socialist Democrats out there beating the war drum, screaming at the sky, saying like, oh my God, corporations are so greedy, blah, blah, blah. Stop giving them, like, we need socialism. Damn, you simped. You simped hard to make these corporations billions, if not trillions of dollars. But as long as it's under the name of safety, you're okay with it. Now, capitalism's okay if it's saving some lives, supposedly saving some, and it never did. It never did. You change course the minute that your personal safety is put into question. That's how pathetic you are. Now, me as a veteran, now look, I'll be the first one to say this, and this was a hard pill to swallow, but the global war on terrorism, I fought in Iraq and Afghanistan for 4.5 years, was a fucking joke. We had no business being over there. The war machine got the churning. The military-industrial complex made billions of dollars. We invested over $7 trillion in the Middle East, lost over 7,000 lives, American lives, for men and women service members and contractors, matter of fact. For what? The weapons of mass destruction that were never there. We were lied to. So you can take it from somebody. It's kind of like that insurance commercial. It was like, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. When a combat veteran wants to warn you about the government, we know a thing or two because we've been fucked over a time of two. We know what we're talking about here. If you ever blindly trust the government, you deserve everything you get. Look at the burn pits in Iraq. What's going on with that? They're still fighting this out in the courts. Look at Agent Orange in Vietnam. Only a generation later does the next government administration come in and say, oh, we're so sorry. Well, sorry doesn't bring my grandfather back. Yeah. Sorry doesn't bring my uncle back. So when are you idiots out there going to eventually learn that when you trust the government, you're your own enemy? You did it to yourself. Because you, just like a lot of these socialists and communists out there, you are so sheep-brained, and to tell you the truth, a lot of GOP members as well when it comes to Trump, you are such sheep that you cannot think for yourselves. And anyone like me that comes along and says, wait, hold on, wait a second. This doesn't add up. This doesn't make sense. Stop questioning the narrative and just do what you're told. Why are you upset at people that want the truth versus those that lied to you? I don't understand that. I never will, nor do I want to, quite frankly. There's no point. That you see where I'm going with this. The government is so far out of control. And then you look at these, and I'll fucking say it. The Daily Wire, The Blaze, conservatism is a very lucrative business. That's why I'm not a Republican. Well, not just that, many reasons. I'm a constitutionalist. I just believe in the Constitution. Leave me the fuck alone. I think the libertarians are onto a lot of things, but those nerds are so fucking heads up their own ass so much. You're not a real libertarian. You're a fucking nerd. You're a nerd. Come on. But libertarians, they do have a lot going for them if they would just stop the infighting. That's why they never win elections. It's the truth. So to go back to my original point, if you voluntarily got the jab, hey, you made your choice, and those choices come with repercussions. I hope nothing happens to you. I respect your stance. But again, when you try and interject yourself and say like, well, we were forced, you were not forced. There was no gun to your head. you are threatened with your job. And folks, it ain't the end of the world. That is not the end of the world. You will find something. Everybody did. Half of them went on fucking welfare. I mean, it's just funny to me. But do you understand now, folks, how you need to become less dependent on the government, be it federal or state, less dependent. The means to support yourself if possible. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. But folks, those hundreds of thousands of people that took that matter, they took that decision and they made the hard choice, you have nothing but respect from me. Nothing but respect. And now, the beauty of it is, a lot of these companies are getting sued. It's like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They should.
Sue the shit out of them. It was medical discrimination.
Oh, yeah.
But then it's not freedom anymore. And I loved how the left, and even some people on the right, made this argument of, you're in a social contract with fellow Americans. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You have these stupid celebrities like Tom Hanks getting on there and talking
I saw
about
that, yeah.
how people who don't wear a mask or get the vaccine, it's just spewing bullshit.
Bullshit.
I mean, propaganda.
Yeah.
You know they're calling them up and telling them what to say, right?
Oh, 100%. Make the puppets dance. Make the puppets dance. Use the strings to make them dance. That's what it is. All right, let's get into the news, folks. Before we get into that, you know how this goes. This show and episode is brought to you by shellshockcbd.com. If you want to check us out, we are a veteran-owned, American-made. The only thing that we have imported from China are the crystal skull. Not the crystal, man. That'd be awesome if they were crystal. The glass skulls that we put the dark matter in. We could not find an American company that would offer those skulls to us at a reasonable price.
Or just, they weren't being made here.
Yeah, they weren't being made here at all. We couldn't find anything.
Couldn't find anywhere.
We really looked. That's the only thing that we have imported from China. Everything else, all the products manufactured right here in America by Americans for Americans. Now, it's shellshockcbd.com. We have a rack out gummy. This is a nighttime sleepy time gummy that is just melatonin and CBD. It is THC free. You will not fail a drug test. You have our personal guarantee on that. The results of the testing, the third-party testing, are listed on the websites. You can see that as well. All of our gummies come with a money-back guarantee. If they do not do as we advertise them to do, you get your money back. It's just that simple. I'm not lying about this. Go check our Google reviews. We can't edit that. We can't fabricate. That's there. We have hundreds of great Google reviews. I'm a combat veteran, dealt with a lot of sleep issues, and the rack out gummies are insanely great for veterans. And it's not just for veterans, don't get me wrong. But veterans have a lot of sleep issues. These are going to knock you out and help you stay asleep. You're not going to wake up feeling groggy unless you take too much. If you do take too much, back off it a little bit. Just pull back a little bit. That's all you have to do. We've got the Delta 8 gummies. Yeah, if you like getting stoned, we got you covered. These are legal. I think they're illegal in like 17 states, but we also have the Delta 9. Delta 9 is illegal in, I think, 48 states. The airborne gummies versus the Halo gummies. Yes, these will get you stoned. Yes, I'm not joking about that.
Between the two.
You do?
Yeah.
I need to do more Delta 9. I think I'm building a tolerance to Delta 8.
I think that happens too.
I love microdosing the Delta 8 because it just puts you in a really good mood. You are still in complete control. There is no like, oh man, I'm so no. You feel great. It's just a great mood enhancer.
It's so gradual too.
It is. You feel it like kind of come in. Like,
all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Maybe everything's all right.
You know, we're kind of in a recession. We got some record-breaking inflation.
It'll be okay.
Eggs, you got to give your left nut for it, but fuck it. I'm getting stoned.
Just trying to get vaccinated.
No, we've had a lot of great stuff from this. So we're very appreciative of people. Also, make sure you check us out on Rumble, rumble.com. Check me out, John Burke. We got 3 channels there. The podcast streams every day, but we're also going to be streaming on Spreely.tv. But you can find our home website at allamericансavageshow.com. We're excited for this. Go sign up for the email list to be notified whenever I get banned on a platform. Alamo is where, folks? It's here on Rumble. The Alamo is here on Rumble. But you'll always be able to find us on allamericансavageshow.com. So, appreciate all the new viewership. Welcome. So, let's get into the news, folks. A lot to cover. Kim Nelson, 1980, in the chat said the tattoo bomb is incredible. Glad you like it. Truly glad you like it. The tattoo bomb is wonderful for reviving old tattoos. It brings the color, makes it pop, and it's great for skin. Do not put it on a new tattoo. Let it heal. Do not put it on a new exposed tattoo. In fact, I've been told from 2 different tattoo artists, some people will always talk about put Vaseline. One guy's like, no, you just let it dry and you let it heal naturally. Don't fuck with it. I've been told because I got a lot of tats, and they would like put saran wrap over it. It was weird. But yeah, don't put this on a new tattoo. This is for to restore and to help heal tattoos as well. All right, this dude will not shut the fuck up. Chris Cuomo says he's emotionally and psychologically beat up after being fired by CNN in new interview.
Oh,
do we have
I still don't care. It's amazing. I thought I would, but I was like, no, not even a little bit.
Crazy. I don't give a shit about you.
Wasn't he making some insane amount of money?
Oh, yeah. He was one of the highest paid CNN employees.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time feeling bad for him.
The reason I don't care about people like him is like, you feel psychologically beat up. How many lives did you help destroy with your bullshit propaganda that you spewed nonstop from your desk of hypocrisy over at CNN? You are nonstop with you and your buddy Don Lemon, like sucking each other off backstage. Like, we're buddies, we're chummy chum. And then you go out there and you just spew this nonsense, and then come to find out that you're just a piece of shit. As long as as well as with your nipple pierced brother, Andrew. Who's a piece of garbage, human garbage.
First class all around.
First class, absolutely. And by the way, to the boomer crowd, you're not going to like me. I cuss a lot. I try to pull back from it a little bit, but hey, every so often a cunt or a fuck slips out. It's the language of the American people, folks. Language of the American people. Chris Cuomo spoke out about his ousting from CNN and the No BS News Hour podcast. No BS. Do you people...
Let's call it We Never Lie. We Never Lie podcast.
Oh my God.
They'll believe us. Worked on CNN for a long time.
Oh, why are they all victims? You choose this path to lie and to espouse this propaganda non-stop, and then when you get busted, suddenly the pearl clutching and the crocodile tears start flowing. Oh, I'm a victim. No, dude, you're not. You made bank. Yeah. I still remember when this pole smoker made a big deal about coming out of the basement of the closet after he got over COVID. It's like, this is me coming out with my family after quarantine. It's like, bro, you were saw driving around with your family. Like, shut the fuck up. You are nothing but a propagandist. Like, Herman Goebbels, like, this guy is very good at what he does. Like, I take lessons from this piece of shit, whatever, Scheiße.
Yeah, remember that one doctor down in Houston that was prescribing hydroxychloroquine for everybody? She was calling out everybody in the media who got COVID and saying that, I guarantee they were taking hydroxychloroquine because one of the side effects was having nightmares, and he was complaining about all the nightmares he was having.
Ooh.
She called him out on it.
Good.
I think a lot of people missed that.
Whatever
happened to that lady?
I don't know. Probably got censored like everybody else.
Yeah. She was riding high there for a while.
Probably got censored
they snuffed her out.
Mm-hmm. Weird. We know all about that. Weird. Here we are, folks. We never bent the knee. Remember when Texas was like, you got to shut down? I was like, we're not shutting down. Nope. We still operated. We still went into work every day. I'm not going to lie. 75 South.
Yeah, that was nice.
Wonderful. There was no traffic on 75 South. We're in the DFW area. I know, yeah. We're in the DFW area, folks. We're over by Dallas. Our storefront's in Richardson, Texas. You can look us up, Shell Shock. We're here. You can walk in, save yourself some shipping if you're in the area. But yeah, that drive, whew, man, because I'm out towards Anna. So that's normally like a 35, 40-minute drive. Bro, I was hitting that motherfucker in 20 minutes because there wasn't a cop on the road. Even the cops like, we're not going into work either. It's too dangerous. It's like, okay, absolutely. I'm all about that. It was nice. So yeah, thank God for the sheep. You made my traffic commute way better.
Oh yeah.
But no, we didn't shut down. And then we opened up a storefront like masks must be. We're not doing that. No. Fuck. And nobody fucked with us. The cops didn't show up. We even had our grand opening during COVID. No masks. Nobody showed up. Or no, I think didn't one cop or something show up and he was like, "Oh, you guys are good," and then left.
I think
something like that. But nobody messed with us. Nobody messed with us. Weird. I wonder why. And I don't know. But also at the same token, we didn't like advertise it hardcore. Like we didn't want to put a target on our back. It's like let's just do this. I mean, come on, let's be honest about this. Don't go out there and be like, hey, we're breaking the law. I'm not going to talk about that. But still, I mean, we kind of did. We told people we're still operating.
Yeah.
Couldn't find us. Bootlegging CBD. No, not really.
Well, what are you supposed to do? The
prohibition of CBD and Delta 8. No.
You had all these hairdressers, all these individuals who
I know
got
a fellow
fired or had to shut down and couldn't do their shit.
The Patriot Barbie, she was on the show. She also streams on Spreely.tv. She was shut down. Mm-hmm. She stood her ground. It's interesting.
But all the while, you have Nancy Pelosi's and the kings and queens of the country walking around and living life as if nothing happened.
100%. 100%. It's the damn truth. The No BS News Hour. how dare I can't even how do you even say that without just catching on fire?
It's funny. Where is it? Where's he streaming?
I don't know. It's a podcast, apparently. The anchor has landed high-profile interviews on his new show, but said, I'll never be what I was. Well, thank God for that. I mean, I hope you just never be anything anymore, quite honestly. It'd be nice if COVID would have snuffed you out, you piece of shit.
I'm sure you'll always be an asshole.
Some things will not change.
Some things will not change.
Cuomo said he views CNN as the biggest news organization in the world, the New York Post reported. He said he still views CNN. Yeah, they're also garbage and propagandists. I mean, they all are. Fox is just as bad. Listen to this. Energy shortages. Britons to be paid to not use electricity between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Monday. Wait, what? You're going to be paid to conserve electricity because the coal plants can't produce it. Okay. Is Greta going to foot the bill on some of this? Is Greta going to pay into this?
You did it, Greta.
Good job, Greta. Europeans could be paying out the ass now. Yeah. Paying out the ass. And you're out there protesting your little stage protest, getting arrested by German police. I wish the police would have beat the shit out of her. Pull out the batons and just waylay, crack that little alcohol fetal syndrome having little bitch. Fuck her.
Did you
was that too much? That was too much. I don't care.
She was being interviewed by Rebel Media. Did you watch that?
Yeah, and she was just sitting there laughing. It's like
a psychopath.
She doesn't understand what's going on. Or she does. She is just the biggest grifter. And she's got such a skewed reality because there is a common denominator among leftists. They always use the children when they're not trying to fuck them.
Yeah.
That's the truth. We had drunken debates this weekend, and one of our panelists, and I was the moderator. This weekend, I'm debating. This weekend, I'll be debating. I think Rob Knorr is hosting and moderating. I will be debating. I think it was Prime, and Prime, good guy. Don't really. We disagree on a lot, but it was the grooming the children. It's not happening. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I'm just like, oh my god.
He said it's not happening.
He said it's not happening.
Did anybody ask him what he thought about trans drag shows with kids that are?
I wanted to so bad, but I can't interject myself like that as a moderator.
Nobody in the chat.
No. Because what happens is you have 1 minute to talk your piece and then it goes into round table. Most people will forget about stupid statements like that and they'll focus on more things. But to combat that, it's just like, dude, go look at TikTok real quick and you will see it everywhere. It's in the news all over the place. And the LGBT has officially endorsed these child-friendly drag shows. So if you sit there and you think that you're an ally of the LGBT, you're now an ally of sexually grooming children.
Yeah.
But I can already tell you the way they're going to combat that or refute that is well, what is the definition of grooming? Look, they play stupid. They try and dissect every definition. It's like that guy is standing on that stage with his butt crack hanging out with a pair of fake tits on in front of a child, and you're telling me that is not grooming? You are disgusting. It's just they're bad faith actors. These debaters, they are all bad faith actors.
What's the definition? What's the definition of a woman?
Exactly. Tell me that. Yeah. What's the definition of a pedophile?
Let's play these word games.
What business do they have? Why would a grown man? Okay, two things. Why would a grown man want to dress as a woman? I don't know. And then even so, why would a grown man dressed as a woman want to perform in front of a child? There is only one reason, folks. There is only one reason. It's to indoctrinate them. It is to groom them. This is not rocket surgery here. But oh my gosh, that's what leftists do. They will spin it any which way. Like Vaush, the debater, he does a very good job of that. He does an insanely good job of that. These people are unhinged. We live in a society that is so unhinged because we've gotten away, number one, from God, and I'm one to talk because I cuss like crazy. I need to stop. We've gotten away from God. Morality is now viewed as being outdated. Progressivism, it's like you can be hailed to be empowered and independent as a woman with an OnlyFans, and we've lost all sense of morality. Well, this is what happens as a nation, folks. Look back at Rome, a 500-year empire destroyed from political corruption and immorality. We are literally repeating history. And that's the funny part about it is we sit here like, well, history repeats itself, history repeats. And you're like, no fucking shit. Look at what's going on in the world. We're doing the same thing again. And we just fall right back in line with it. It's weird. All right. New York Times. And this is the reason I picked this article is I find myself sometimes feeling like we're kind of alone. Like we don't have a majority of people on our side. And that's not true. That's why I picked this article, and I want to read this to you. So listen up, folks. If you truly believe, as far as being anti-LGBT, for them wanting to indoctrinate children, and you think the masses are on their side, you got another thing coming. The New York Times admits even liberal parents are outraged over schools hiding kids' gender transitions. Now, what have I told you? when it comes to the left, the progressive leftists, the SJW crowd, I would just say the Gen Z and younger millennials that are all about the bleaching the hair, dyeing the hair, septum rings, just hedonistic lifestyles, have now overtaken the DNC. It is running buckshot over there. The DNC moderates do not like them. They are still against them. And all you need to do is just step back and let them just eat themselves, and they will continue to do it. This is proof, folks. This is proof right here. They're hiding the kids' gender transitions, and liberal parents are like, well, we're not okay with this. Well, I would take it even a step further, like, I'm not okay with kids transitioning either, but any state school that is funded by the federal government has an 8% of the federal budget that goes into education. If that school is taxpayer funded, that school has no business getting involved in gender or anything like that. If I had a school telling my child that I pay my taxes for that child to attend, and they try telling my child that we will hide this from your parents, I'm finding that person, I'm going to beat the fuck out of them. I know people say violence is not always, oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. You put the fear of an ass beating in some people, it's like you got no business going near my children. We forgot that. We become way too civilized because I'm not going to lie. Sometimes good ass beating is what people need to beat the brakes off of them. And by the way, that Atlanta protest, you see that? Literally, I'm not making this up, folks. This is trending right now. There is a news report. I don't know if it was on CNN. I could see it being CNN. And they're like, oh, these Atlanta protests. He's sitting there with like the microphone. It's like, yeah, that's right, Bob. These Atlanta protests, they're mostly peaceful. And right behind him is a cop car on fire.
I think it was a Fox affiliate.
Was it a Fox? You fucking bunch of retards.
Fox station,
that's why you're just as bad as CNN. Yeah, it was mostly because you don't want to piss off the blacks. Oh, God. God help you if you do that. And come to find out, the Antifa that were arrested were all white, and they weren't even from Atlanta.
Really?
What?
I know. They bust these idiots around.
You don't say. Well, I know what we can do to fix that. Bring in Kyle Rittenhouse. Go ahead and send him on in. That's all we need.
They're like the gimps from Pulp Fiction. They just open up the chest and like take these guys out on leashes and
or like the trunk monkey from that one commercial. You remember the trunk monkey with like the bar or the crowbar? It's like when you have like an altercation, hit the trunk button, the little monkey pops out with a crowbar, beats the shit out of people. Just unleash the trunk monkeys. That's all we got to do.
That's what they do.
That's all we got to do. Just create a vast army of highly trained trunk monkeys to just go out there and dispense justice. That's all we should do. This year, coming to theaters near you, Trunk Monkey Part 2. This time, it's the DNC's turn for a mostly peaceful protest ass beating. No! Psst. Done. Rated R for retarded. It's true. Mostly peaceful protests. Oh, and they come to find out the Asian hate crime. You hear about that one? The shooting there? Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, there was a shooting. Asian hate crime is what they're actually saying.
In California?
I forget where. Well, I haven't looked it up yet, but I did look into it briefly. A lot of Asian people were murdered, and the perpetrator was Asian. Weird. Because there was a lot of political commentators coming out. They're like, probably a white guy. Probably a white guy. And it's like, nope, it was one of them. But again, statistically speaking, who's got the biggest track record of attacking Asians? Black people. Now, I'm not blaming the black entire community. It's not what I'm doing here. But statistics don't lie. Data doesn't lie. It ain't whites. And whites are the majority of this country. Because maybe you got an issue in your culture. I don't know. Could be. Maybe. I don't know. We're not going to talk about that. We can't have that conversation. People aren't ready for that yet. New York Times published, again, when the New York Times is publishing this, it's not the New York Post, it's the Times. So you want to talk about just outright liberal insanity, it's the Times. Like whatever they post, it's just believe the opposite. Like you said with Democrats, whatever they accuse you of, they themselves are doing. The New York Times published a front page article Monday documenting the outrage that even liberal parents feel when schools hide their minor children's, I like how they say minor children's gender transitions from them until it's too late to intervene. Dude.
They're going to start calling them almost adults.
Almost. I don't give a fuck if that's a woman facilitating that. You're getting your ass beat. You are getting your ass beat. I don't know who the hell they think they are. For someone to sit there and try and indoctrinate your child, you're the parent. I can't even imagine being a mom that had that child inside of them for 9 months to be born, and then for the state to step in and say, we know what's best for your child. You can't even define what a fucking woman is. You've got these freaks out there in the alphabet rainbow mafia wanting to fuck children, dancing and parading around in front of them. Your gay little parades are nothing but degeneracy and immorality. I don't know what love has to do with prancing around on assless chaps dressed like a fucking dog. Now, here's the thing. I'm a libertarian. Guys, you do what you want behind closed bedroom doors. The state has no business getting involved in two consenting adults. Look, if two adults want to dress in dog masks and fuck each other, I don't care. I'm just not going to do it. The leather chafes me. I've tried. No, I'm kidding. But still. But when you involve the children, all bets are off. Constitution goes away. You need a bullet in your head. That's all there is to it. And it will get to the point that if this is not controlled by the DOJ, by law enforcement, by CPS, by these agencies that is their job, the people will rise up and they will start committing acts of violence and hate crimes will go through the roof. And folks, you're going to blame it on them, but realistically, this was a failure of government. This was a failure of policing. No, when a cop stands point or guard over a group of people having a child-friendly drag show and you stand there to keep the peace, knowing full well there are children in there, you're no better. Turn in your badge. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Oh, by the way, folks, on this show, we don't blindly follow law enforcement. I support the blue when they do right, but I am not a big law enforcement guy anymore. I support our police. I am all for community policing. We do have to have a police force. But at the same time, it needs to be a justified one that abides by the Constitution. So the cops that helped shut down these businesses during COVID, you're pieces of shit too. And if somebody would have put a bullet in your head, I'd have been applauding. Welcome to the new listeners. My name's John Burke. I'm a dickhead. But it's the truth, because if we had more men running this country like me, you would not have the issues that you've got right now. But the GOP would never accept somebody like myself. They would never accept that.
Bob, I think you said cunt one time. Oh my God, we can't have this. Voters are, man, I don't give a fuck.
They don't deserve you, buddy.
They don't deserve me. You don't deserve me. Nobody deserves me. I'm so, nah. You got to play the game. I don't want to play the game. I think it's ridiculous. I just cannot. And I have tried, and normally when it comes to very divisive topics, I do try and see it from both sides. There is no their side to take on sexualizing a child. There's none.
No.
So when the hate crimes start up again, I'm going to be applauding. You had it coming.
You're just trying to figure out how they're going to try to keep sexualizing children and getting away with it.
Yeah. Oh, again.
So you go from like calling them groomers and them saying groomers is
a bigot thing.
Bigot thing.
Or then a bigot be like, here's the thing. If you stop giving a fuck when they call you a racist, a bigot, a xenophobe, okay, whatever. I dude, consider the source. Everything y'all say, I don't take you seriously. None of them. So it's like, okay, I'll be a bigot. I'll be a misogynist. I don't care. Like, I don't care about you people. Like, California could break off. And if we can get the conservatives out of there and the liberals just go off into the ocean, I'm okay with that. I don't give a fuck.
People are leaving in droves.
Saw that there was a record number of New Yorkers that left New York to go down to Florida. Yeah. California's coming to Texas. Texas is still red. Oh, speaking of that, the tweet from last night from Greg Abbott. Okay, I'm not a huge Abbott fan, but that was actually really good.
Pretty good.
When I first saw it, I was like, there's no way he tweeted this. I went to his page, and I'm sitting there at dinner with my girlfriend, and I was like, I got to look at this. And it's a real tweet. Greg Abbott, during last night's Cowboys football, hey, next year's our years, boy. But Greg Abbott tweeted out, it's like, even I could kick better than the Cowboys field goal kicker. And I'm like, oh my God, he didn't just say any day. And for those who don't know, Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair. I got to say, well done. At least he had some good humor there. And people were loving it. But Cowboys lost last night. And all I can say, fourth quarter, 2:10 remaining, 4th and 10, and you fucking punt? Are you stupid? All you needed was a touchdown to send it to overtime. And you punted. You idiots.
Not sure
you
they would have
fucking morons.
Not sure they would have made the field goal anyway.
No, not even a field goal. Just go for it. Go for first down.
I mean, extra point.
Not even just that. No,
had they scored the touchdown, I don't think they would have gotten the extra point.
I don't think they should. I would have played it safe. Kick the field goal, land it, go with the guarantee, and then try and hold them. Let your freaking defense go in there and do its job. But dude, watching that, I was just like, you're kidding me. Because I thought they were going to go for it. And then I see them line up their punt team. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, no. This is a stupid call. Like, because best case scenario, you get that conversion over and you still got some time on the clock. You get them to punt. You're like they started that thing like behind the 20.
They weren't going to beat them, buddy.
There was no way. I was like, look, and I'm sitting there like, it's still possible. I kind of feel like one of those kids on like a child like Christmas. It's still possible if you believe. It's like It's like I don't believe in.
Yeah, they were never going to win.
I don't think Jesus gives miracles to the Cowboys anymore.
27 years.
27. Jerry Jones, I'm sorry. Like we talked about before this, he can put butts in seats, but the day that he fired Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys never recovered. They won 1 or 2 more Super Bowls under Barry Switzer or whatever, but that was Jimmy Johnson's team that he worked with.
He's living off Jimmy Johnson's
He was
legacy.
living off of his. Jimmy Johnson was the best thing that happened to the Cowboys.
That's what he's doing.
And Jerry Jones, his dumbass, fired him, and it was just like, oh my God. Because I'm a Cowboys dynasty guy. I grew up with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Seeing the shit now, it's like, dude, Jerry Jones, until Jerry Jones goes away, that guy's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. He's great at managing money. He is a money maker. But as far as the teams and stuff, that dude needs to sit the fuck out. You've got a track record of bad decision making. Horrible decision making.
He's a book of bad decisions.
No shit. Well, for those that didn't know, Alec killed a guy. Kind of. It was a girl. Hayla Hutchins, but still, that's I don't even know how we got started saying that, but that's just how we are.
When we say guys, it's all inclusive.
It's all inclusive because we can't define what a woman is. Baldwin shared a photo of his wife, Hilaria Baldwin, and one of their children, his first post since the involuntary manslaughter charges. Baldwin received some criticism over the caption of his first Instagram post since it was announced that he would be charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of Helena Hutchins. The first caption read, "The old 'let me give you a back rub' ploy," according to page 6. However, many in the comments called out the actor for sexualizing the caption. "Sexualizing children is always so weird, but your own child? Yikes," one wrote. Wait, what did he say? Oh. Okay, it's a photo of his child giving his mom a back rub. What the fuck? I didn't see this. For those that don't know, I don't read the articles prior to the show. We pick what looks good and we discuss it. If you're watching over on Rumble or Spreely.tv, you're seeing Alec Baldwin post. Let's click on this. Let's go to his Instagram and look at this dipshit. The post is of his son. It's gonna have to make me log in. His son giving his mother a back rub, and apparently Alec Baldwin said, "The old 'let me give you a back rub' ploy." Now, if you're in the know, you know what that means. The back rub always starts out with, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you a back rub, baby," and then the next thing you know, you getting it on. You making babies.
I know.
And then if you're a liberal, you're murdering them or trying to fuck them. One of the two. That's what you do if you're a liberal.
She's saying, "What?"
But I don't understand why Alec would like. This guy is so disgusting. Just
like
degenerate.
just a weirdo.
Just a weirdo.
But I mean, his wife is a weirdo too.
Yeah, they both are.
She's like pretended to be from Spain
Italian
or some
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't know what she couldn't say cucumber.
Yeah. These people are such fakes.
Okay.
Such fake. Hollywood is just a cesspool of degeneracy. Ugh.
Yeah, just weirdos.
But Alec Baldwin. I'm surprised we haven't done that more. We're slipping.
I like my
Alec Baldwin, Matt Damon. Alec Baldwin responds to the involuntary manslaughter charge and the shooting death of Russ cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Movie stars involved in freaking out. Okay. Alec Baldwin will be charged, as we all know. And that dude ain't going to see a day in jail.
No.
He's getting probation. Everybody's like, oh, finally. It's like, okay, I can agree with the charges, but he does need to do some jail time. And I will argue this will be the hill that I die on so long as Alec doesn't have a gun in his hands. He alone is the only one that should be facing legal charges. The other people, they didn't do anything illegal. They did their jobs horrifically wrong. The armorer, the separate, all of that. You did your job. Like, I would have fired you in a heartbeat. Like, absolutely, and you should never work in that business again. But you didn't do anything illegal. Alec Baldwin did.
Yeah, it sounds like
you took the firearm. You aimed it at Helena, or I'm sorry, the producer, the director, because it went through his shoulder and hit her in the chest and killed her. You pulled the trigger, and then he claimed that he didn't even pull the trigger. You lied because you wanted to get in front of it. That's what your PR guy probably told you to do, and you lied. It was a Colt 45, I believe it was. Old-fashioned Western-style firearm. And you lied about it. And dude, you want to talk about the condition and the state that America is in. You can go look at the comments on some of these posts about this affair, and you want to see, and I've talked about this many times, the liberal left that wants more gun control. You hypocrites are the worst people imaginable. Because when Alec Baldwin, who, by the way, let's put this into context, he's worked with guns his entire movie career. I remember watching Hunt for Red October when he's holding a Glock. He knows guns. So let's not even sit there and say, oh, he didn't notice it. He knew what he was doing. He knew what firearms do. So when you want to sit there and say, we need more gun control, and then you sit there and say, Alec is not to blame for his mishandling of a firearm, you are sitting there enabling this type of unsafe behavior. Because I will tell you this right now, chat on Rumble, you can correct me on this, but everybody knows what is the first rule of handling a firearm. Everyone should know this. Responsible gun owners know this. This is what you should be teaching your children. Alec Baldwin should have known this, and he did know this. What is the first rule?
You never talk about Fight Club.
You never talk about Fight Club. The first rule is you treat every firearm as if it is loaded, which implies you keep the barrel aimed at the ground and your finger, keep your booger hook off the bang switch. That's all there is to it. Folks, I'll be real with you. If you don't put your finger on that trigger, you're good to go. Ensure the weapon is unsafe. The barrel is always full pointed in a safe direction, which generally is down, and you're fine. You are fine. But the left enables more excuses to be made. So when Alec Baldwin clearly violates this tenet, this paramount tenet of firearm safety, then what are you talking about? You want more federal involvement when your own douchebag of an actor can't even apply basic weapon safety? Interesting. Like, your hypocritical takes, I don't get them. But then again, this is liberalism. Who does get it? I don't. The logic is so spotty and inconsistent. It's like, Jesus. Like, who the fuck ties y'all's shoes? Like, sincerely, like, how is COVID took out the wrong people, honestly. I wish we could have re-engineered COVID to, like, attack people with low IQ.
Well, fortunately, there's a vaccine that they've all taken.
well, good point.
And some boosters.
Good point. Oh, yeah, you see Elon Musk.
What?
Came out. Oh, no, he just came out like a few days ago. He tweeted about it. He said, I just got another booster and I'm feeling horrible.
I guess he's not that smart.
Apparently not.
I don't understand why people would continue to get vaccinated and take booster shots knowing that it doesn't do anything.
Because this is groupthink. Stupid people in large numbers. Remember the saying, stupid people in large numbers are dangerous? This is proof.
I saw you posted some comment about that doctor who was injecting people with saline.
Yes. That wasn't, you see, I messed that one up. Sometimes I forget. So I had some dude tag me on this post about a doctor who was giving fake vaccines. They were saline shots at the behest of the parents to the children. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine. You do it. Yeah, absolutely. The issue that I take is if a doctor, say like you want to get the vaccine. Let's deduct about 100 IQ points from you. Now you're a liberal and you're fucking stupid. And you go to the doctor, I want the vaccine. And the doctor, who has a different belief than you, says, okay, and he doesn't give you the vaccine and he gives you a saline shot. The doctor is wrong. I don't care what anyone is going to say when it comes to the morality argument. He has an oath he has to uphold. Healthcare is a business. I don't care what you say. It is not a right. It is a business.
100%.
That doctor lied to the patient. If that doctor has a problem issuing that vaccine, then the doctor does not have to issue it and says, no, you can go somewhere else and get that vaccine. I'm not going to administer it.
Yeah,
it is not your right as a healthcare provider to lie to your patients. And conservatives cannot wrap their minds around it. I saw somebody, they tagged me on the typical liberal post because I posted about this like a month or so ago, caught a lot of backlash. Like, I will not change my mind on this. Because folks, the thing that I feel most GOP boomers and the retards, like the blue checks with the typical liberal and the rest of them over there, you don't have foresight. You always see it when it favors your cause. You don't see it in the sense of, what if the role was reversed? What if that doctor, and here's the deal, a lot of doctors that issued those vaccines did so in good faith. They did so in good, they really felt like those vaccines, I truly believe a lot of them did.
You know, man, when I went in to have surgery on my back.
Oh, I thought you were transitioning.
Yeah.
I got myself a new sex buddy. What's up?
I was getting a new vagina installed.
Get me your mangina.
No,
I
was waiting to go back to have my surgery done, and I heard these doctors talking, or at least one doctor talking about, more people wear masks and do all. Like, I knew as just an average Joe that masks aren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
And here he is, like, just talking about people putting masks on, and he's a
doctor.
He's a trained physician.
But the thing is, though, like, they actually believed it. But to my point, though, was that if we're doing a role reversal on this, say like you went in there and you wanted the vaccine, or you didn't want the vaccine, you said you had the symptoms of COVID, but you wanted something else. You wanted a different way of attacking this thing, like give me just whatever the case. And the doctor's like, oh, I'm going to give you the shot. It's just a flu shot. And he injects you with the vaccine. Wouldn't that be equally wrong? He lied to you?
Yeah.
100%. So if we flip the role and you say, I want the vaccine, he doesn't give it to you, he gives you something else, that's a lie. No, the healthcare provider does not have the right to lie to a patient. What the patient, because people will sit there and say this, or they don't understand. You do not have to do what that doctor tells you to do. You can go to a different doctor. It's a business. It is a business. Healthcare is a business. It's not a right. I don't care what AOC and Bernie Sanders and the rest of these morons have to say. You do not have the right to make somebody perform services and labor for you because you are too fat, overweight, and unhealthy to stay out of the hospital. You do not have that right to somebody else's labor. You don't. You never should. So I made that point, and it's a complicated point. I get that. But if you're not a fucking retard, you'll understand it.
Yeah.
Okay? So somebody tagged me on this post from Typical Liberal about a doctor who's giving fake vaccine saline shots at the behest of the parents. Fair enough. And the reason for that is because parents are the custodial guardians of the children. They make the medical decisions for the children. So it's their right to say, yeah. So they wanted him to do this for the school purposes, giving them a fake vaccine. So, but at the same token, and here's the crazy part. Now that doctor's lying. You're lying. That's a crime. Is he heroic? That's the slippery slope. And
Is it a crime?
It is a crime because he faked vaccine cards. It's a federal crime. But at the same token, it's like that is such a slippery slope argument.
Yeah, I don't know.
I respect him for that because at least, like I said, he didn't lie to anybody except the federal government, which I'm okay. I'm okay lying to the federal government. Fuck the government.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, I can see the point there. But that guy tagged me it was a gotcha moment. It's like, no, my point still stands. This guy did so at the behest of the parents to the child, a fake vaccine. That's different than the parents, they themselves going and saying, I want something else to help me with COVID, and they inject you with the vaccine against your knowledge. Then you could sue the pants off that motherfucker. Yeah. But Republicans, these boomers, these meme pages, you don't see that. You don't get it. Because once you open that gate, folks, it's a very slippery slope. And people just don't understand that. So that was my point with that. And I made a post about it.
I
was like, don't fucking tag me on this bullshit. No, because what they do is they tag me. It's like, oh, gotcha moment. It's like, that has nothing to do with, what my point had to do with. It has nothing to do. By the way, you can find me on Instagram at John Burke 1984. JOHNBURK 1984. 1984. Just that easy. John Burke 1984. That's where you can find me at over on social media because I get banned on everything else. So, Bette Midler blasts Bernie Sanders over gun control. She says, you just kicked the can back to the states. Shame on you. More and more, you see these leftists, they don't want state rights. They want a dictatorship in the form of a leftist-leaning government. This is what they want. Because essentially what Bette Midler is here is like, well, I'm not going to get my way, but I know I won't get my way at state level, but I will get it at federal, so I'm going to favor the feds. Until it suits you. Until it doesn't suit you. But here's the deal. That's not a state versus federal. That's a constitutionally protected right. Sorry. States should not have the ability to remove constitutionally protected rights. No. You shouldn't. Sorry. If it's in the Constitution, you either go by it or you don't. That's all there is to it. And if you don't, you shouldn't receive anything from the federal government. Nothing. No fund, nothing. Grants, nothing at all. We are a constitutional republic. We use a democratic system. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. The Constitution clearly states, and just like leftists do, well, what is the actual definition to a well-formulated, well-regulated militia, and they try and break it down. It's like, well, what does this mean? Well, they didn't have machine guns back then. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Again, you don't know about this stuff. They even had a magazine-fed rifle. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, they did. Well, the Second Amendment is antiquated. It was, it applied to back then. We got a troll. Okay, got it. Fair enough. I mean, you can be a troll in the chat, I don't care, but if you're out there pushing pedophilia bullshit, then absolutely not. So that's your warning. We'll get to it later. But again, Bernie Sanders apparently is. I'm just reading this for the first time. So it says Disney Hocus Pocus 2-star Bette Midler has blasted Senator Bernie Sanders after he demanded more gun control in the wake of Saturday's mass shooting in Monterey Park, California, saying Sanders has been in Congress for ages and has failed to move the needle on the issue. Maybe you're starting to wake up. Maybe you're starting to see it.
I can't see what Bette Midler says. She blocked me on Twitter.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. I could never. I can't even last on Twitter. I got banned again, so I'm kind of done with it.
It was all about just asking her to give up all of her land and money to Native Americans. Mm-hmm. She was so hell-bent on making sure that their stories being heard, that everything was taken away from them and stripped. They were stripped of everything.
These people are.
As soon as you bring it up, they block you. She doesn't care.
No, she doesn't. She is so out, dude. I mean, she's so out of it. This woman is just so unhinged. Again, they live in this alternate reality, this insanely alternate reality where they don't face the same issues that the common American does. So it'd be the same as like royalty, saying like, well, let them have cake. Let them be like Marie, even though Marie Antoinette never was officially recorded as saying that, but apparently she did. But it's the same thing. Oh, our issues are so complex. We identify with the common American. No, you don't. No, the fuck you do not.
I know.
You are so out of touch. So out of touch. It's so crazy to me. Okay, I see what you're saying about that troll. Talking about age of consent. Like, okay, whatever. Those people are weird. You gotta love this. Pamela Anderson has accused Tim Allen from Home Improvement of flashing her his penis back when they were doing Home Improvement. Folks, these accusations usually come on the heels of an announcement of some sort, and wouldn't you know, Pamela Anderson's got a new book coming out. You don't say. Tim Allen slams Pamela Anderson's claim he exposed himself to her on Home Improvement set when she was 23. Anderson's new book, Love, Pamela, will be released later this month. Didn't Prince Harry do something similar about a frostbit penis and then he launches his book? This is a common tactic they use, folks, and I hope he sues the shit out of her. I do. Because look, everyone deserves their day in court. I do believe in due process. Maybe Pamela Anderson is not lying, but if you're not lying, go to court and prove it. Go to court. If you can't, then shut the fuck up. I took a very hard stance on the Harvey Weinstein. Half of you women, you're not victims, you're just whores. You sucked his dick for a movie role. Many of you were not forced. The ones that were, you've got credibility. If they forced you, yes. Was what he did wrong? Of course it was. But you still willingly chose to do it. Now, those that did not and they were forced into it, you're the real victims. Not the whores. The whores undermine your cause, your plea, and that's what's pathetic. So Pamela Anderson want to sit there and pearl clutch as if, oh my God, he flashed me. Pamela, I'm sorry. Until this goes to court, then all I have to really go off of is character. And it wasn't Tim Allen that has done numerous sex tapes, Playboy, exposed himself, fucked random dudes to include drug addict morons. I'm going with Tim. Quite honestly, until it goes to court and you can prove either way, I'm going off of what Tim's saying.
Yeah.
Do I think it's possible? Absolutely it's possible.
She looks rough.
Whew. She did not age well.
Oh my God. Are those eyebrows, are they drawn on?
Probably. Tim Allen is refuting claims he exposed himself to a 23-year-old Pamela Anderson on the set of Home Improvement in 1991. Anderson, who guest starred in 23 episodes of the popular 90s sitcom as Lisa the Tool Girl, alleges in her upcoming book, Love, Pamela, that Allen flashed his penis to her ahead of filming. A representative for the actor relayed Allen's comments to Fox News Digital. He says, no, it never happened. I would never do such a thing. An exclusive excerpt obtained by Variety, Anderson wrote, on the first day of filming, I walked out of my dressing room and Tim was in the hallway in his robe. He opened his robe and flashed me quickly, completely naked underneath, she alleges. He said it was only fair because he had seen me naked. Now we're even. I laughed uncomfortably. At the time, Tim Allen would have been 37 years old. Damn, my age when he did Home Improvement. In 1989, Anderson made her debut in Playboy magazine. The following year, the model was selected as Playmate of the Month, propelling her to sex symbol status. Anderson left Home Improvement to star in arguably her most iconic role as C.J. Parker in Baywatch in 1992. Anderson's book, Love, Pamela, released. Who gives a fuck? It's Pamela Anderson. She's a slut. Who cares? No one's an idiot. But I love this tactic of how you sit there and you try and destroy men. And here's the sad thing. It's the victims that suffer the most.
Yeah, it's a real scumbag move.
It's a scumbag move. Take it to court.
Had she not been pushing a book.
Yeah. And also the question should present itself is, why did you wait till now? Now, granted, I get maybe back then nobody would have believed her because the Me Too movement did usher in some good things. Some good things. It did bring more victims forward to talk about it. And hopefully now it empowers people that are victims of rape, sexual assault, abuse to come forward. You should come forward.
Well,
but the problem is you got the Jaina Perfectly Flaweds out there trying to weaponize this and destroy innocent lives. She is the very same reason, like the Pamela Andersons, that they don't believe all the whammons.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem with going and being the sex symbol and posing nude and having sex tapes leaked is that when you say something like this, it's kind of hard to believe you at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, he might have done it.
It's possible. But at the same token, we don't know.
When you've been a Playboy Playmate and you've had all like sex has been your symbol for your career, like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
that woman has had more dick in her than a fucking glory hole in a gay club. Let's just be honest. So I'm sorry, until you take it to court and you can present irrefutable evidence, folks. She's trying to destroy this man by releasing a book to make money because she's probably blowing it all on drugs and who God knows what else. You see how the Me Too movement stuff and the BLM, all that stuff could have started out good, but you let it become ran by liberals. And, you know, honestly, the whole BLM thing, them stealing from each other is just, it is so stereotypical. That's the funniest thing about it. It's like, wait a minute. So the co-founder bought a $6 million mansion, funneled so much money to her friends and family, and you wonder what the problem with black culture is. I'm not saying white people don't do it, but
that's how our government's run.
Yeah, pretty much. But the whole movement behind this is Black Lives Matter. Well, you certainly took their money. And I still remember that there were chapters in like Kentucky and places like that from BLM. It's like, yeah, we haven't received a dime, not a penny. And then, like you said before, what happened to the BLM? Where are they at now?
They were used up and put back up on the shelf.
Nobody, man, you liberal black people, you got enslaved again by the Democrats. It was like they revitalized the KKK and they got you again. Whew! When are you going to wake up and see that you're being used by liberals? And here's the thing. Conservatives, when they try to sway you over and then put you into these groups that look, well, we have black conservatives. They're no different. They're better, don't get me wrong. But when anybody tries to keep you segregated by skin versus united in thought and the differentials of thought, that lets you know what they're really about. And I said it when Turning Point do it. We have a Jewish leadership. So what the fuck does being a Jew have to do with anything? What the fuck does being black, white, whatever have to do with anything?
Yeah.
It's a belief. It is a belief. But if we are able to segregate based upon the color of our skin, that is the most superficial cosmetic bullshit. And it's quite insulting to think that by your skin color, you're automatically going to think a certain way. Although there are stereotypes that basically kind of prove that right in some way in regards to percentages of votes by minority and who they vote for. Black people still overwhelmingly vote Democrat. It's still proven. But my God, when are you going to wake up and realize you're being used? But then there's people like us that are saying, hey, get off the government tit, get off welfare, get off subsidies, go to work. Because when you are on those programs, you're a proxy government employee. And just like Obama, oh, let me be clear, let me give you some change. All he did was pour more money into subsidies to keep you poor, realistically. It's just enough. It's like a drug addict. The government is the best fiscal drug addict there is. Give them just enough money to keep them coming back. Because Republicans don't want to give you that. We Democrats do. So that's who you should vote for. Oh, it is a brilliant tactic. It is a brilliant tactic. And so when they say, well, Republicans want to take Social Security away. Fuck yeah, I'm all about that. Fuck Social Security. I didn't voluntarily opt into this. Anything the government controls, they fuck up. Social Security's upside down. Again, economists are saying by the time I'll be after you, but by the time I'm 38, by the time I hit retirement age, whatever that'll be by then, they'll probably vote to raise it again because there were protests in France. They were raising it another 2 years, upping it from, I think, 65 to 67. But they say by the time I get it, I'll only draw back 74% of what I paid in, if that, because COVID put a speed boost on that.
Yeah, the U.S. dollar is looking at some real trouble coming up.
Oh, bro,
we haven't even. In Saudi Arabia, they're open to trading currencies besides U.S. dollars.
Oh my God! Besides you, that tells you everything.
Yeah,
that tells you everything, folks.
So it looks like they're in talks with China right now to do petro yen.
Oh my God!
If they, it's not a good situation there.
I'm wondering where crypto is going to go because I feel like there's something that's going to be. They're going to continue pushing something the feds can't regulate.
Yeah, I don't. Isn't Logan Paul in trouble right now for? Is he being sued for
something I haven't
crypto,
looked into?
like
I saw something. It was like I don't know.
That's the problem with crypto. It's like you got these guys over in what's that BTX,
yeah,
where they scam all these people out of all their money and then they steal it and then that's it. You're fucked.
You're fucked. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I never got. I did some crypto trading. I was just fucking around with AMC. It was like, oh, to the moon, stock hands or whatever, diamond. I don't know. I made like $500. Like, cool. That was it.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
But Pamela Anderson feels sick over stolen sex tape resurfacing, but says she's no damsel in distress. No, you're a slut. I mean, that's all you are. I mean, you're a whore that did a sex tape. And I mean, do you not notice the commonality here? Like Kim Kardashian, Pamela Anderson, these sex tapes propel them into more popularity and fame because they know that sex sells. And everybody's just applauding it. It's like,
she said it resurfaced.
Apparently.
I remember
Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson have 2 kids together. And that's another thing right there. Your kids are going to see this. Do you have no shame? Is there no shame? Like there's some things I probably posted that I'm probably going to regret. Well, actually, no, my accounts get banned so much. There's no way to look. But there's probably things that I've said that I will regret. But at the same token, it's in good faith. This shit right here. Look, I'm sorry. If you're a woman or you're a man, you got an OnlyFans and you're putting that shit out. It's forever. It is forever. It is forever. And you want to sit there and tell your kids to do the right thing, and you can't even differentiate between right and wrong when it comes to your body. Your value is that's a low value woman, that's a low value man. I know 1 or 2 couples, they do OnlyFans together, they're acquaintances, and the man allows it. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, with this Pamela Anderson feeling sick over her sex, you could rent it. You should be able to rent that sex tape.
Oh, back when the internet was booming, man, like that thing was everywhere.
Well, it was in the hotels. I remember being in hotels seeing Pamela Anderson sex tape.
Oh yeah,
like you could actually rent it. I'm like, oh okay. Well,
Pamela Anderson is taking control. That's what they are going to. She's taking control. Some men think, oh, she's a Playboy thing or a sexual person, and they hate you for being something else. She says in the trailer of it. What? That's exactly what you are. How do I know that? That's what you did. You say look, bottom line on this one, actions, not words. Your words mean dick all. Easy, Pamela, you're probably getting excited with that. Your actions say something else entirely. I go by the actions, not the words. Yes, you are a whore. Okay. Don't sit there and pearl clutch when your whoriness resurfaces in a whore tape that you made. And it wasn't leaked. That was not, they wanted that thing to go viral. Let's not even play pretend. It was leaked intentionally.
Not if you could rent it.
Thank you. Thank you.
She was making money off of it. I mean, I guess if you're going to leak your tape, hopefully you're going to make money off of it.
I love how she says, some men think. No, what you mean is some men of high value look down their nose at people like you, and to include Tommy. And that guy's a fucking whack job. The nearly 2-minute trailer showcases the many versions of Anderson throughout her career, including her time on Baywatch. And all they did was sexualize you again. And Pamela, I got news for you. You can't act for fuck. You were not there because you were the next Sharon Stone. You were there for your boobies and your face. That was it. That was literally it. You allowed them to sexualize you. You are no victim. You knew what you were getting into. You are not that fucking stupid. You are not that ignorant or inexperienced. You were 23 years old. Come on. The nearly 2 minutes. Okay. Her career, including her time on Baywatch and her role as a mother.
Mom, some kids at school show me you taking it up the ass by this other guy. What's this about?
I would, I'm not going to lie. I would love to sit in on that conversation to see how you spin that. Well, sweetie, sometimes when a woman is really hard up for money, you can sell your butthole.
We should talk about your transition before we talk about that.
Oh my gosh. The nearly 2-minute trailer showcase. Okay, she also seemingly references her infamous sex tape with ex-husband Tommy Lee, which became the subject of the Hulu miniseries Pam and Tommy in 2022. And this is the reason why these studios produce this type of tripe, is because people are stupid. We are the Kardashian generation. We feed into this ignorance. We don't hold ourselves to a higher standard. That's what morality actually did for this country. We would look down our nose at this type of shit, and it would not be encouraged. And so many people out there, because you're slothful, you're gluttonous, you've got no standards, no morality about you, you feed into this. You pay your money into this. You're equally at fault in this. She said, I blocked that stolen tape out of my life in order to survive, and now that it's all coming up again, I feel sick, she mentioned in a preview. I want to take control of the narrative. For the first time, she says, the video pans to her writing something down in a journal. You don't get to take control of shit. Welcome to the ramifications of your whorish actions. Okay. I'm done with this idiot. I'm sorry. These low-grade women, they don't rate. And low-grade men that would applaud this, I'm sorry, you're nothing but a simp at this point. All right, last, most certainly not least, why did Mark Hamill like this transphobic tweet? Was it really transphobic? Was it? I doubt it was. Anybody, if you disagree with transgenderism, you're transphobic. I'm not afraid of you. I just think you're a fruitcake.
Has he apologized yet?
I don't know. Beloved Star Wars actor Mark Hamill might just be going down the same turf K-hole. For people that don't know, a turf is what somebody that does not agree with transgender. It's some cool little acronym those fucking nut jobs over there that can't even identify what a woman is, made for people like us. You're a turf. Okay, you have a 64% suicide rate. The problem figures itself out over a while. I don't know what you want me to tell you on that one. So your little acronym does not hurt my feelings. Here's a rope. What the fuck you want me to do? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Ouch.
I don't give a fuck. These people are insane. To sit there and try and be nice to these? No, absolutely not. You have tried to force feed, shotgun blast your bullshit narrative down everyone's throat to include sexualizing kids. I feel nothing for you. I feel nothing for you. Again, the problem fixes itself over time. And the problem itself, that suicide rate, that's a massive indicator there is something wrong. Well, it's because they get bullied. It's also because you don't have the mental tenacity to deal with that kind of shit. Other people do. Why don't you? Because you've been handled with kid gloves your entire life. You were the generation that was spawned for the generation of everybody gets a trophy. I'll fucking say it. My generation of millennials where everybody got a trophy, this is the byproduct of that. You are seeing firsthand what happens when society collapses and morality dies. This is what happens. Because first it was like, hey, let them get married. Well, I'm of the mindset of okay, yeah, that's a right. Or it's not technically not a right, but it's okay, equality. I get that. Homosexuality, I don't agree with it theologically. Liberty-based, yes, your right to do what you want to do. Don't care. But then it was let us get married. And all of us knew. We knew it wasn't going to stop at that. But it was you know what? We can have the argument of, is religion involved in marriage? Is it something that is a byproduct of religion? Or is marriage something that is just completely void of all religion? And people are no, it includes religion. It's well, in that case, if the religion espouses homosexuality as being wrong, then you shouldn't be allowed to get married. Hence why the Catholic Church keeps bending the knee to the homosexual community.
Next thing you know, they're pimping out their adopted kids to pedophiles in the neighborhood.
I saw that article. Yep.
I used to think maybe...
To be fair, heterosexual couples do that too. But yes, I will say that was disgusting to see. I will say that's disgusting. Yeah.
It's so disturbing.
But the point that I was making was the slope started here, normalize it, and then let us get married. And then it turned into men can be women, use our pronouns, let us fuck your kids. Do you not see what feeding into immorality and degeneracy gets you? Now, I'm of the mindset that homosexuality should be legal, but it should be shunned morally from society. Keep it behind closed doors. Because when you praise it like you do, like you've seen already, folks, look, I'm sorry. You can quote me whatever statistics you want. One has but to look outside at society, and that is your proof. I don't need scientific studies from these woke activist doctors. That's what these Twitch debaters always do. Well, this data, who conducted the study? What's their political leaning? Is it possible for that person to have been infiltrated politically and have a biased political opinion to drive his narrative, therefore affecting his studies and his scientific research. Abso-fucking-lutely this happens. So anytime you want to quote a scientist, I'm sorry, that means nothing to me anymore. Nothing at all. But to go back to Mark Hamill, the turf, as so many others. But there are a few reasons why we're still holding up hope that he hasn't gone over to the dark side. We're the dark side, folks. Those that believe in science, those that follow the science, and we do.
Family and children. That's the dark side.
If you have a penis, you're a man. Well, gender isn't a sexual base. That's a patriarchal created system to keep women suppressed. It's like, well, let's take that. Okay, say like it's true. What has it gotten us? Maybe we shouldn't be allowing women to vote. Because look at what happens now. Whores are everywhere. Yeah, the emergence of no, I'm totally kidding. I believe in equality for everybody. Everybody has the right to vote. But just take one look at society and you'll see. Yesterday, trans activist Aaron in the Morning, this fruitcake, oh my God. I've seen this person's Twitter account and it's like, wow. Like, you're one Fruit Loop away from you should be committed. Like, you should be committed. Discovered something truly disconcerting about our beloved Luke Skywalker. He liked a J.K. Rowling tweet. Oh my God. As you know, J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, is, they paint her as this transphobe, but she's like, no, I believe in women's rights. And I think transgenderism is the patriarchy trying to infiltrate women's rights by men claiming to be women to dominate. Because again, you see men pretending to be women beating the brakes off of actual women in contact sports, but you don't see women doing much to men that are converting. You don't. Men are dominating these women's fields, swimming, fighting, all of these things. These men that transition are destroying these women. And all these leftist, liberal fucking idiots do is they sit there and they applaud. Oh, you're so heroic. You're so powerful. Oh, yes, trans. You're so brave. And you don't even realize you are the very same thing you claim to fight against. You just let a man with a psychological disorder chop his dick off or not even go through the surgery, just be on hormone blockers. And now you're a woman. How little you value actual women. To simply say, I am now a woman. Wow. I am just at a loss with this. So the same group that says follow the science, you can't follow basic biology. And all you do is use these woke scientists to try and further your narrative. Look at like back in 2018, 2017, the DSM-5 had gender dysphoria listed hard in there. And what did they do? They changed it to appease the minority mass, the single percentile of Americans that felt underrepresented and marginalized. Well, maybe they're not crazy. You want to chop your dick off. Yes, that's fucking crazy. That is crazy to me. Well, I don't, and everything is, and here's the thing about it. This is what I love. It's a common denominator in this group of people. It's all about feelings. Nothing more than feelings. I feel like a woman. Well, sometimes I feel like beating the brakes off of you little freaking wackos, but I don't. Your feeling, a matter of a feeling does not equate to truth. A feeling does not equate to proof. A feeling does not equate to it being actual science. So every argument you have with these wacko rainbow-colored Nazis, the Gestapo, hey, don't say anything about me. I'll protest and burn your place to the ground in mostly peaceful protest. I love sucking dick and chopping mine off. You have no science behind you whatsoever. All you have are emotional social media postings and bullshit rhetoric and acronyms you make up for people that don't agree with you because it's not founded in logic or science. We have terms for you. We just can't say them because we get banned if we do. Yes, we do. They say, I know what you're thinking. Say it ain't so. And honestly, it might not be so after all. Comments were quick to point out that this might hopefully have caused a case of Butterfingers. And yet, this isn't the first time he's done this. Fans are desperately reaching out in hopes that Hamill truly didn't know what he was doing and wasn't aware of J.K. Rowling's turf background. All this does, and folks, you can quote me on this, Democrats, you don't have enemies. You make enemies. You don't have enemies. You make them. You try forcing this down people's throats. You try indoctrinating their children in the schools. You try performing them for them in these drag queens. And look, again, I don't know what business a woman has got going to a drag queen show. If you're a conservative woman and you're going to a drag queen show, you're only enabling this type of psychologically disturbing behavior. Oh, it's fun. It's entertaining. There is nothing entertaining about a dude putting on a dress and this outlandish, insane bouffant hairdo, slathering all kinds of makeup on your face that makes fucking RuPaul look like a conservative, and prancing around, and your voice sounds like shit. You can't dance. You possess no femininity about you. You're just a dude in drag, and you think that's entertaining and it's normal? All you women did is you went in there and you normalized it. And what did they do? Now they brought their kids into it. Yes, I will say this. That was a woman's issue. It was the women and the homosexual community that went in there and fed into that bullshit. Because you wanted to be tolerant. You wanted to be an ally. And I'm sitting here saying, it's like, okay, all right, go ahead. I know where this is going. One has but to look at how liberals stand on gun control. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And to our new listeners, here's another area that I stand. Trump was not a two-way president. Trump was the opposite of a two-way president. Trump was not a constitutionalist. Uh-oh. I bet I lost a lot of you, didn't I? You don't like hearing that, do you? You don't like having your God Queen Cheeto man questioned. That's what we do. I align with the Constitution, and that's it. Trump wanted to ban bump stocks. Trump was not for body armor. Trump was not for freaking suppressors. Oh, that's right. And then conservatives on Truth Social will come after me. It's like, well, I mean, that's a funny thing. That's a funny thing. When you find yourself adopting leftist arguments to support Trump, you should know you are wrong. Because I made posts about that on Truth. And Truth Social is nothing but boomer neocons over there just sucking Trump's dick. You can find me at John Burke on Truth Social. I rarely post anymore. But the funny thing is, I made some posts referencing Trump as being anti-2A. And there's this woman, diehard conservative, MAGA Republican. Well, you know, suppressors aren't really covered by the Second Amendment. It's like, whoa, the fuck you say? So now, at heart, you're just a contrarian. You will disagree and adopt a leftist stance to support your God King. Do you not see how you pigeonholed yourself? So why can't you hold a politician accountable for his bullshit? To include Trump, to include DeSantis, to include anybody that steps in the ring and says, I want to be a representative. You absolutely should hold their feet to the fire, because if you don't, they will run buckshot and go crazy. Trump endorsed McCarthy. Fucking biggest boomer neocon of them all. Ugh. Probably ain't gonna like me after this one, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Maybe Spreely TV doesn't want me. It's like, I don't know if they really want me on their show. You sounded good, but I mean, you can't. Nah, they've been really cool to us so far.
You should be able to talk about a president no matter who it is.
100%.
Because you're not going to agree with everything that everybody's going to do.
No, I'm not lying. I think Trump was a good president.
Yeah.
I do. But there were policies that had to be criticized.
Oh, yeah.
And as you should. And I will respect Shapiro for his stances on that. He did do that consistently. But Shapiro was also one of those never-Trumpers, as was Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
Who fucking jumped that ship. Is like, oh man, I'm losing support because Trump is taking control of the GOP.
Yeah.
Instead of standing your ground and saying, I'm sorry, I don't think this guy's gonna be a good president. Man, y'all switch quick.
Yeah.
Quick. And it was funny because I did the opposite. I was just like, at first I was all about Trump and I was like, no, I'm about the Constitution. It was Austin Peterson that actually kind of got me turned on to that. So grateful to him for doing that. So, Well, folks, that does it for today's show. We want to say thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you go look at us over on Spreely.tv. We also got Dominic Izzo over there. He's got the Izzo rants. Dominic is ex-law enforcement. He's been a great friend to myself. He's been a great friend of the show. He's actually come on the podcast. Intelligent dude. We don't see everything eye to eye, but no one ever's going to, and that's fine. And he's one of those guys that you can actually have a really good discussion with. So make sure you check him out on Spreely.tv. He streams over there, and our website, allamericans.com, where you can find these streams to include over on Rumble. We're everywhere now. We're growing, and we appreciate you being here and for supporting us. If you want to subscribe, we're over on Locals. You can get there from our Rumble page. $4 a month. That helps out. There's no paywall, folks. We don't do a paywall. We give this content for free. It's fun. Josh and I love it. We love getting to do this. We want more people to wake up and understand we're being lied to. The federal government must be shrunk. Stop following these boomer neocons that are so full of shit, these conspiracy theorists that get everything so muddied and they don't discuss actual issues. That's what we're trying to do here. Influence the next generation of constitutionalists. So with that being said, go check us out on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever podcasts are downloaded. We're there. The All American Savage Show, or just look up John Burke. Got anything to add, my man?
Yeah, make sure you take advantage of our iPhone 14 giveaway this month with a purchase of $50 or more.
That's true. ShellshockCBD.com.
You're automatically entered.
You spend $50 or more, you get entered into the brand new iPhone 14 giveaway at the end of this month. I'm not joking about this. Spend $50 or more. That's how we track it. The back-end analytics of the website, shellshockcbd.com. We can track it. $50 or more, and you're automatically entered to win. And we will give that away live. Yep. We will make sure, because we believe in complete transparency. We appreciate that. So until tomorrow at 12 p.m. CST right here on the All American Savage Show, you stay savage, America.